They said it would replace cars. That cities would be redesigned for it. That walking itself would become obsolete. But 20 years later, it's a meme. The Segway was supposed to change the world. Instead, it became a $5,000 joke on two wheels. And by the end of this story, you'll understand why even the smartest inventions collapse. Why sometimes being early is far more dangerous than being wrong. And what the Segway's quiet, forgotten death reveals about how humanity truly embraces change. Because this isn't just the story of a failed scooter. It's a story about timing, ego, and the brutal truth of human behavior. It's about the uncomfortable reality that the world doesn't reward brilliance immediately. It rewards timing and empathy. You can build the most revolutionary idea in the world. But if people aren't emotionally or practically ready for it, it doesn't matter how groundbreaking it is. It'll die quietly, misunderstood, mocked, or ignored. This is a story about how society can praise you as a genius on Monday and turn you into a meme by Friday. How the same people who call you a visionary today might call you delusional tomorrow. Not because your idea changed, but because their comfort didn't. Because innovation isn't just about being smart. It's about being patient enough to wait for the world to catch up. It's about understanding that humanity moves slowly. And progress, real progress, is less about invention and more about alignment with what people are ready to accept. History, after all, isn't written by those who invent first. It's written by those who arrive when the world is ready to listen. And sometimes, that single difference, timing, is what separates a legend from a cautionary tale. It's the late 1990s. A time when technology feels unstoppable. The internet is no longer a curiosity, it's a revolution. Billion-dollar startups are being born almost overnight. College kids are becoming CEOs. And every new product promises to change the world. Silicon Valley is drunk on optimism. Every week, there's a new headline about the next big thing. Computers are smaller, faster, smarter. The dot-com boom has turned innovation into entertainment. And venture capitalists are throwing money at anyone with a PowerPoint and a dream. But in the middle of all that noise, one man stands apart. A man who isn't chasing hype, he's chasing impact. His name is Dean Kamen. By this time, Kamen is already a legend in engineering circles. He's the kind of person who builds miracles for a living. He invented the portable insulin pump, a device that gave millions of diabetics independence. He created revolutionary wheelchairs that climb stairs. He's the kind of mind people describe with words like visionary, eccentric, and relentless. Kamen doesn't just invent for profit, he invents because he believes technology should elevate humanity. And this time, he believes he's on the edge of something truly transformative. An invention that could reshape cities, redefine transportation, and rewrite how humans move through the world. He calls it Project Ginger. And from the moment that name appears, it becomes the most mysterious project in Silicon Valley. Everything about it is cloaked in secrecy. Prototypes are hidden behind locked doors. Engineers who work on it are sworn to silence. Investors sign non-disclosure agreements thicker than novels. Nobody knows what Ginger is. Only that it's going to change everything. Rumors spread like wildfire. Tech journalists claim it's a hovercraft. Others think it's a new kind of clean energy. Some whisper that it's an anti-gravity machine. Even the titans of technology are intrigued. Steve Jobs reportedly says it will be as big as the PC. Jeff Bezos calls it amazing. Venture capitalists fight for a seat at the table. Kamen doesn't confirm or deny anything. He simply smiles and says, "You'll understand when you see it." The anticipation becomes hysteria. For 2 years, people speculate. Reporters write columns predicting the dawn of a new transportation age. Some even claim cities will be redesigned around it, that roads, sidewalks, and urban planning itself will have to evolve. Project Ginger becomes a cultural riddle. A kind of high-tech myth whispered about in boardrooms and chat rooms alike. It's the late 90s equivalent of Apple's next secret device. Except this time, nobody knows who it's for or what it even is. But Kamen doesn't care about the buzz. He isn't doing this for fame. He truly believes his invention will make the world better. Reduce pollution, save energy, and reconnect people to their cities. He imagines a future where cars are unnecessary for short trips. Where streets are quieter, cleaner. Where people move effortlessly from place to place. Standing tall, balanced, and free. To him, Project Ginger isn't just a machine. It's a movement. And as the whispers grow louder, as the world leans in, and as Silicon Valley holds its breath, Dean Kamen prepares to unveil what he believes will be the next great leap in human civilization. No one, not even the geniuses who invested in him, could have predicted what came next. For 2 years, no one knows what it is. Only that it's supposed to be the future. Then, in 2001, the curtain finally lifts. After years of whispers, mystery, and hype, the world gathers to witness the invention that's supposed to change everything. The energy in the room feels electric, reporters holding their breath, cameras flashing, investors sitting forward in their seats. And then, it rolls out. 2 wheels. A handlebar. It balances itself. That's it. For a moment, there's silence. You can almost feel the confusion ripple across the room. People blink, waiting for more, waiting for it to fly, to transform, to do something that justifies the 2 years of secrecy and the mountain of hype. But it doesn't. It just stands there. Perfectly balanced. And suddenly, the internet explodes. Forums light up. Tech blogs fill with questions and sarcasm. That's it? This is what Jeff Bezos was excited about. They kept this secret for a scooter? People are confused. Then, they're disappointed. The same media that once called it the future of cities now mock it as a toy for rich people. This was the invention that would rebuild cities? But here's the thing, Dean Kamen wasn't joking. He believed every word of it. He told interviewers, this will be bigger than the internet. And to him, it wasn't exaggeration, it was conviction. Kamen wasn't trying to build a toy, he was trying to reinvent urban life. He imagined a world where city streets were filled with Segways instead of cars, where people glided silently through clean, pedestrian-friendly spaces, where parking lots and gas stations became relics of the past. He dreamed of downtowns that were open, breathable, designed for humans instead of machines. He believed the Segway could reduce pollution, save space, and create safer communities. It was bold. It was visionary. But it also came with one fatal flaw: the world didn't imagine it with him. Because while Kamen was dreaming of new cities, people were still trying to cross old streets. No one knew where to ride it. It was too fast for sidewalks, but too slow for roads. Pedestrians saw it as a hazard. Drivers saw it as a nuisance. And governments didn't know how to classify it. Some cities banned it outright. Others restricted it to private property. Even those who wanted to use it faced the same question: where does this fit? And that question, that lack of context, was the beginning of the end. The Segway didn't fail because it didn't work. It failed because the world around it wasn't ready for it to exist. But the practical problems didn't stop there. The price tag was brutal. $5,000 in 2001, the cost of a used car, or 2 brand new computers. For most people, that wasn't innovation. That was insanity. It was too expensive for commuters, too awkward for casual riders, too impractical for businesses. Even police departments and postal services, who tested it briefly, couldn't justify the cost. The Segway had no clear audience. It was too futuristic for the present and too present for the future. What was meant to be a global revolution became a strange status symbol, something people gawked at, joked about, or used once and never again. And in a cruel twist of irony, the same technology that was supposed to make humanity look forward ended up making the world laugh backward. Kamen had built the future. He just built it for a world that wasn't ready to ride it. The Segway became a symbol of awkward futurism. A strange, shiny artifact of a future that looked exciting on paper but ridiculous in real life. It was the kind of invention that made people stop and stare, not because they wanted one, but because they weren't sure what they were looking at. A brilliant idea, yes, but one trapped in the wrong decade. In photos and commercials, it looked sleek, revolutionary, even elegant. But in reality, it was clunky and out of place. You couldn't glide down a crowded street without drawing a crowd of confused faces or smirks. People didn't see a revolution. They saw a novelty. It became the punchline of late-night jokes, the vehicle of mall cops and tourists. A machine built for visionaries, now reduced to comedic relief. The Segway had aimed for the stars. But it ended up orbiting nowhere. And then, the inevitable happened. Sales crashed. Production slowed to a crawl. What was once hyped as a civilization-changing breakthrough quietly faded from headlines. The hype died faster than anyone could have imagined. The companies that licensed it backed out. And even the loyal early adopters, the ones who believed they were riding the future, slowly abandoned it. Within just a few years, the Segway went from the invention of the century to an artifact of tech overconfidence. A perfect example of what happens when ambition runs faster than reality. But here's the twist, and it's a big one. Kamen wasn't wrong. Because a decade later, the world finally did what he dreamed of all along. City sidewalks filled with e-scooters, hoverboards, and e-bikes. Small, silent, battery-powered devices that carried people through busy streets with ease. The same concept. The same purpose. The same dream, just in a form that fit the world's rhythm. Kamen's idea had finally arrived. Just without him. The timing had shifted. By the 2010s, smartphone apps made it possible to rent and unlock electric scooters with a tap. Battery technology was cheaper, lighter, and more efficient. Urban congestion was worse, environmental awareness was higher. And suddenly, short-distance electric travel made sense. Everything Kamen predicted had finally aligned. The infrastructure, the convenience, the culture, it all clicked. What the Segway couldn't achieve through design brilliance, the e-scooter achieved through accessibility. People didn't need to spend $5,000 anymore. They could pay a few cents per ride. The idea was the same. But the execution, and the era, were different. That's the irony of innovation. Sometimes, you can be exactly right about the future, and still fail miserably in the present. Because in technology, success isn't just about having a great idea. It's about showing up at the exact moment the world is ready to understand it. The Segway didn't die because it was foolish. It died because it was early. Too early for the culture, too early for the market. Too early for a world that wasn't yet ready to glide. And that's where the Segway's story becomes a mirror. Showing us that innovation doesn't fail because of bad technology. It fails because of human readiness. The world doesn't move at the speed of invention. It moves at the speed of acceptance. Because ideas don't change the world, people do. And people only change when they're ready. So when we talk about the Segway, we're not really talking about failure. We're talking about timing. About what happens when the future shows up. And the world looks the other way. Kamen's story didn't end with a machine that couldn't sell. It evolved. After the Segway, he turned his focus to something bigger and quieter. He designed prosthetic arms for wounded veterans. Machines that gave movement back to those who'd lost it. He built water purification systems for remote villages, bringing clean water to places the modern world had forgotten. He may not have built the city of the future, but he built tools that gave people their futures back. And that's the thing about real visionaries. They don't stop when the spotlight fades. They just keep building, even in the dark. Because maybe the deeper truth isn't about failure or fame. It's about fit. You can have the best idea in the world, the most advanced design, the purest intention. But if the world isn't ready, if people can't see what you see, you don't get remembered as a visionary. You get remembered as a ghost of the future. Someone who lived ahead of their time, whispering ideas the world would only understand years later. And sometimes, that's the price of seeing too far ahead. So what do you think? Was the Segway a failure? Or was it simply misunderstood? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love stories that reveal why innovation succeeds or dies, hit like, share, and subscribe. Because next time, we're looking at another invention that promised to change the world. And almost did.